Bubba, good to have you, man.
I'm so glad to be here. It's been way too long.
It has been way too long. We were in college together. Let's just say we took different routes.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. But both good, just different.
I actually say this to people. There's no right way to do life.
No.
You take a path and then you enjoy the path that you go down, right? You decide to have 8 kids.
I did.
I decided to have none so far, but hey,
But someday it's probably going to happen.
It's interesting. I actually, about a year and a half ago, I decided for the first time, I was like, I think I want to have kids one day. I hadn't decided I didn't want to or anything. It had never been something that was missing from my life.
Interesting.
And so I'll just share this because I've never really shared this, but I decided to go get my sperm checked. Okay. Because I was like, I'm surprised I actually haven't had any kids yet. And dude, I've been taking testosterone since I was 31, pretty much basically the whole time.
Or just for lifting purposes?
Just for overall health and I really believe strongly in having a healthy testosterone. Yeah. And I probably didn't always do it the right way. I was just, insecure at 31 and trying to look my best. So I'm taking whatever my buddy at the gym has given me. But anyway, and I'd never got my sperm checked. So I got it checked and dude, it came back zeros.
What?
Like no sperm.
No.
Oh yeah. And I was actually really worried I might not ever be able to have kids. So I put on this regimen. I talked to my nutritionist and got off, testosterone. Yeah. And so I've been off since August. I just got it rechecked last Monday, and it's back above normal. Yeah, it's like way above normal. It's all back. So
there's your sign.
I know. Got to be careful. I'm playing with a loaded gun again.
Oh my God. Well, dude, it was like if I just sneezed, pregnant. It was just happened. So, and the thing is, testosterone. Man, I've been above 800 this whole time.
Wow.
And so, it's been a little more difficult.
So how old were you when you had your first?
25.
25. And so you've had, in the last 15 years, you've had 8 kids.
Oh, in 10 years, we had 8 kids. So it was a 10-year span. So they're right now 4.5 to almost 15. He turns 15 this coming Sunday.
So you basically had a pregnant wife for a decade.
Oh, yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah. No, and she did all the hard work. I definitely had the easy work.
Sure. Yeah.
But raising these kids, it's just pure chaos and absolute fun at the same time. 4 boys, 4 girls. They're amazing kids. And we got really lucky. They're all healthy. They all have like unique talents and skills, and it's been so much fun.
Well, and I mean, it's kind of, here's how I saw it in my house growing up, because we have 7 kids in my house. So very similar. Know that. Yeah. And y'all kind of just take care of each other. Yeah. Like there's once you've got a couple of the older ones, and like I was raised by my parents, but I was really raised by my siblings. And it's like your sister.
Where'd you fall? Where did you fall?
I'm the 6th out of 7.
6 out of 7. Okay.
Yeah.
Totally.
So I'm towards the bottom. Yeah.
Totally.
But and you're going into that space. That's kind of like the direction you're going with things now, right? I kind of want to get into that. You're writing a book right now.
I am, yeah.
Is it done?
No, I wish. I'm getting closer. It's like a little more than a third of the way done. It's called Fatherhood and Entrepreneurship. It could change. But Fatherhood and Entrepreneurship, I'm just taking my background and putting it together. The main gist about the book, and hopefully behind this whole fatherhood movement, which is the new brand that's coming out, is I want to take what I've done in business as an entrepreneur and all the structures, KPIs, one-on-one interviews, your conferences, your planning, your mission, vision, values, everything that we spend so much time and energy on in the workforce, and implement it in the home. I think as dads, sometimes we spend all this time and energy here at work because we have to. We're the protector. We're the provider. We have to. But then at home, we just kind of like relax because it's like, oh, finally, I can take the armor off and just kind of hang. But I think it does a disservice to our spouse. I think if we can come home, and it's not that you always have to be on 100%, right? You have to be able to relax, but come home with a little bit of structure, knowing what that mission, vision, values are at home. Know that you can do one-on-ones with your kids. Like I did them yesterday. I try to do them once a month. That's just like a sit-down one-on-one chat, 15 minutes with each kid. And then we do one-on-one dates, father-son date, daddy-daughter dates throughout the week. All of that is happening. But this whole mission behind it's being driven by intention. You want to be an intentional father, just like you're an intentional entrepreneur or business owner.
You're intentional with everything, right?
With everything, your whole life.
But yes, it really is the key because so many things are going to try to steal your time and attention these days. Totally. So if you're not completely intentional, you're going to end up building somebody else's dream, or somebody else is going to be raising your kids, or whatever that looks like.
That's exactly right. So the book is based around that structure. So it's a resource, it's a guide, it's not a memoir. I hope people would turn to it often. You would go through it, see the principles, see the structure, see the layout, and be like, oh, I can just plug in my name, my kids, my situation, my structure, and it will formulate this plan for you. And I think what I've understood from now this research and study is that your spouse is going to love you for it. They want to see you come in and lead with intention instead of just letting them do all the
Well, and I think it helps, I mean, we all know that the feminine can relax into their natural state when they have order and they know that, hey, I'm able to play within this space, but there's not chaos because my world has got these barriers or these walls, or like, I like to think of it as a river, right? Like the woman wants to be able to flow freely, but it needs a bank so that it doesn't spill out.
I love that.
Cause a mess.
We've been studying the same stuff because,
of course,
because you've got, you talk about a river and I'm talking about like the man being the bowl. And the bowl is full of water, and the water is the feminine. And it can be splish splashing, it can be thunderstorm and lightning. But we as masculine men need to be the bowl and hold that water, hold space for that water, no matter what, whether it's crashing all over the place or if it's calm. I think that's our goal. So when we get home, if we can lead, it will allow that woman to fall into her feminine more. And feel like it's not that you're demanding and commanding, and that's not, to me, what taking charge. Being a masculine man is not big muscles, tattoos, and a cigar, right? It's coming home. To me, the ultimate masculine man is Jesus Christ. I mean, if I'm gonna lay it out
for
there,
sure, yeah.
He is the ultimate divine masculine. He can go into the temple and throw the freaking tables and tell everybody to get the heck out of there, right? Or he can heal that woman who just touched his garment, right? The hem of his garment, and he can forgive the adulterer right there in front of everybody and tell everybody else to get take off unless you've don't have any sin yourself.
Yeah, I've actually been doing this, putting together a podcast that's how Jesus is the perfect masculine man. And it's like all the traits that I haven't been able to finish it yet. I was going to try to get it out by Christmas. We didn't end up doing it because I don't want to half-ass it. I want to get it right. But like knowing who you are, knowing who you are, like having that certainty, not being swayed by, what comes here, just all these different masculine traits. There's a million of them, but I'm going to put that together and put it out soon.
So this whole movement, the fatherhoodmovement.com, is absolutely a Christ-centered movement. It's helping these men. I want to awaken us from our slumber. I think so many of us, we go put all this effort in at work, which is great. You got to go provide. But then we fall asleep at home, or we're just scrolling, or sports, or whatever it is. We need to be that leader. We need to be able to take that responsibility, the accountability, not only just for our mistakes, but the intention of where we're moving. Send direction, bring direction into your home with your children. Help them know that you have a plan. The book, the platform, there's a program, men's program, and I've had all of these women now reach out, which is kind of funny. I guess it shouldn't be that funny. Most of the people who follow me are females, and it obviously comes from my background in working with my ex-wife, but like they're asking for a program as well. And at first I'm like, wait, I'm a dude, like I'm a more masculine man. Why would you want me to create a women's program as well? And the feedback I'm getting is that they want to have not just a woman running the program, but a man being able to help them get insight into maybe why their spouse or their husband is acting this way or feeling this way, or maybe he's stuck. How can the feminine help the masculine? Because it really is this beautiful play together when a healed or what's embodied masculine man can come to the table. We're all wounded, but when we come together and as healed as possible and working on our healing, then we empower each other. That's where I see.
Beautiful. I love what you talk about as far as coming home and being intentional and giving the same to your family as you give to work. One of the things I teach my guys is, look, you guys need to pull over for 15 or 20 minutes or spend 15 or 20 minutes. Usually, I just say do it in your car before you go inside. And like, let that transformation go from like out of work mode, take the break. You need to relax. You want to kind of just like zen out or chill out or whatever you need for 15 to 30 minutes. And then you go inside with the same intention that you showed up to work that day. That's what I teach, is like, take that little break, mindset break, whatever you want to call it, and then get in there and do it with that kind of energy. So you don't go in and just throw your stuff and want to, you see it on TV, the guy grabs the beer and sits on the couch or whatever.
And turns on the TV.
Yeah.
No, I think if you're looking at coming home, and a half hour would be amazing. I know a lot of these folks, they probably don't even live that far away. So it's like, okay, how are you going to take that time? Even if it was 5 minutes, if you can do 30, amazing. But even 5 minutes, and there's two things I would recommend. One, if you've had one hell of a day at work, then it may sound crazy, but pull over or while you're driving, scream bloody murder in the car. As loud as you possibly can, let out all of the frustration and the anger. Just let it all out and make sure no one else is in the car. Make sure your windows are up. Nobody can hear you. But there's one thing about men that, women love to talk and they can get out a lot of emotion by talking. That doesn't always happen for us.
They also connect by doing it.
And they connect.
Too. Yeah.
But men, I think we shove so much down. I know for me, if I'm going through a hard thing, whether it's at work or a relationship or whatever it is in life, if you're able to really let it out, scream like crazy for 2 or 3 minutes, that's all. Mm-hmm. And I'm talking like your voice is going to be hoarse, screaming. And I know it sounds crazy. Don't call the cops, right? Then the true emotion can start to come and bubble up from the bottom. And what I've noticed is that when I really feel the emotion come up, sometimes I'll just bawl my eyes out. And what's interesting is, I know for me, I'm 41. I've been pushing things down for 40 years, and hiding or shoving it, whatever it is, shame. I didn't want to deal with these emotions. And as I've been learning these new modalities, like breath work, sound baths, even massages help.
Bro, you've come over to our side on the spirituality. Be careful with that.
Oh, dude, I'm loving it, man. I mean, a little yoga is good. I'm a CrossFit guy first, but you got to mix it in. These types of things have cracked open my heart more. I needed that cracking open. And so anyway, when you scream bloody murder, the two things, scream bloody murder, let those emotions come out. You may cry, and guess what? It's okay. Mm-hmm. And just plan ahead, bring a little hand towel in the car. You can wipe yourself off before you get in. And then the second one is definitely don't plan your calls or last minute appointments of the day. Mm-hmm. Now look, especially if you're a business owner, you're going to have people knocking on your door the entire day. So you're going to have to plan it. And tell people, like, I need the last 15 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever it is, of my workday, excuse me, alone. Just me.
And that's, I think, what I tell the guys is just bake it in. Just bake in 20 to 30 minutes that you're not taking appointments, you're not taking calls. There's got to be some kind of barrier there before you go straight into, being dad.
Mutual friend, Todd Peterson. Yep. He said he came in that one day, he was on the phone, and I think I can't remember now, it was his mom or his mother, or mom or his wife, just told him, you better never come in that home and see your kids see you on that phone again. Man, that was a wake-up call, because you're always on calls. Mm-hmm. We are always on calls as an entrepreneur, investors, whatever it is, always on calls. But to make sure that you put that phone down, put it away.
Well, and by the way, you don't have to be. You don't have to be on the phone when you get home. Like, any business worth having is one where you don't have to take those calls when you go home, So all it is a reminder that you haven't set it up well enough for you to be able to be in that spot. I know for me, I used to take this sense of pride in, like, I work till 8 or 9 p.m. and, all these things. I have some guys that work for me, and one's been with me for 7 or 8 years. And he said to me one day, he's like, dude, I didn't sleep all night. I was up working. I go, what the hell are you doing? Yeah. I was like, stop. Where did you think that was a good idea? Like, you really haven't slept the whole night? Like, you're worthless to us today. Yeah. Like, your mind's not sharp. You're not I was like, never again, dude. Take a break. Like, when you're at 6, whatever it needs to be done. If you need to get a couple extra things done after you've put your kids to sleep, fine. But I don't want my employees burning out after 3 months because you think it's cool to not sleep at night.
For sure.
And just changing that mindset around that, And even as a realtor, one thing that really helped me a lot is I started taking a gym break in the middle of the day. And so I'd go work out always at like 1 p.m., which felt almost like a sin when I first started doing it, almost like running out of Costco before they check your receipt or something. You're just like, you're not in trouble, but it feels like it, And I remember just thinking to myself, like, oh my gosh, like, if people knew I was doing this, what would they think of me because I'm not at work? But then you realize, no, this is like the perfect breakup in my day. I got that aggression out. I got to, like, just put some physical labor to it. Anyway, and it allowed me to work a little bit later. But
that's a great idea.
You built, an incredible career. You're a venture capitalist now. Maybe take us back a little bit for people that aren't as familiar with your journey, kind of how you got to. I think a lot of people, I actually know this because people come to me all the time and they want to know what to invest in. people get really tempted to invest in private capital, right? In these different companies and one-off things. And I am a very strong advocate against investing into private companies, unless you are a venture capitalist, unless you've already made a crap ton of money and a million other things, and unless you have the opportunity or the team to vet dozens and dozens of these deals before you pick one. I don't think you should ever invest in a single company. And so that's my own personal belief. It comes from a lot of personal experience, but then me also hanging out with people smarter than myself like you. And so take us back a little bit, how you got to this spot.
Geez, well, the first entrepreneurial venture started at BYU. So we even did these Entrepreneur of the Year awards, and I was just a member of the team. I wasn't the original founder. But took 4th place and 3rd place consecutive years. And that like opened my eyes to what entrepreneurship could be. And there was even an entrepreneurship lecture series. So if you're a student out there, go to these entrepreneurship lecture series.
Spoke at the UVU one time.
Yes. I'm actually this week.
You are?
Go to UVU. Yeah, I'm literally speaking this week on Thursday.
Nice. Yeah, I did it. It was actually like 7-8 years ago. It was kind of fun though.
Awesome. Yeah. I think it's so great to go back to the schools, because I've done it at BYU, UVU, U of U, and just share. And anyway, so I started then in college. That was my first, venture into entrepreneurship. Then in 2009, I started a company called Launch Leads, grew it and sold it in 2020. It was literally got the check, the wire. I say check, you know what I mean? Got the wire Friday. COVID shut.
Did you make him do one of those big giant checks for like when you win like a golf hole?
That's awesome. We had twins, our kid 7 and 8 on Sunday. So wire Friday, kid 7, 8 Sunday, COVID shuts down the hospital Monday.
Wow.
If that transaction hadn't occurred on that Friday, no way it would have gone through. So talk about a tender mercy from God. It was amazing. But the short version is in 2014, I hired a CEO to run that company on a day-to-day basis. It was a service-based company. It wasn't venture-backed. It wasn't software. It was more of a service-based in the tech sales arena. So I hired a CEO so that I could start a venture-backed software company, because that's what was sexy. Everybody wanted to, have the software company, go raise venture capital. Well, I was like, that's what I need to do. So I went and did the raise venture capital. It was luckily within the similar industry, so I had expertise. I had a reputation that was good.
I was going to say, had people already seen that you had success with the other company?
That was the only reason.
A little bit easier to raise the money.
Only reason, yeah. And I raised on a napkin idea. Like I had no traction. which is not heard of.
How much did you raise
today
at that time?
1.25. Okay, it was not a big deal. I mean, back then it was bigger deal than it is now. And then we got accepted into Techstars, which is similar to Y Combinator. Yeah. It's probably the number 2, where Y Combinator is number 1. So moved to Boulder, Colorado, spent 4 months out there. My now ex-wife had 3 kids, pregnant with number 4. It was hard, just simply enough that it was hard. From the relationship side, from business side, everything was hard. Ran that business for 3 years, blood, sweat, and tears, had to shut it down. Oh, you guys, devastating. Talk about like depression. I'd never felt depression before. Anxiety. I didn't even know what that was.
Were you depressed that just the shame of losing people's money, or just like feeling stupid that maybe it tried something that didn't work?
Yeah. The crazy part is that we got revenue from customers. So we had this like false positive where we kept gathering this revenue from customers. They wanted what we had. We couldn't fulfill on it through the technology well enough. And then the real reason, LinkedIn was our main like source of data.
Okay.
And they just turned us off. They shut everybody out. The API.
It's crazy how often you hear those stories. It's like we just had the TikTok ban.
Yes.
By the way, we both survived it.
You're back.
But no, that's the danger of that. I have a friend, Chad Bennett. You know Chad?
Party. Of course.
So he was getting 90% of his leads was through Google and some different things, and they shut him off overnight. And he had to let off over 100 employees like that. I mean, he ended up building it back up again. But just that's literally painful. This giant company makes one decision. They say there's 54,000 businesses get a large portion of their customer base from TikTok just in Utah.
Oh my!
If you start thinking about that for a second, so like that's how many businesses use TikTok as an actual marketing piece.
Well, I mean, it's smart. You use what's out there, but don't be reliant on a third party for your business. Yeah. That was like the biggest takeaway. So anybody that's like, yeah, I'm building this thing and it's attached to this.
It's also really hard to get money on those kind of businesses because they can tell that, right? It's like a giant red flag that this thing has.
Somehow I snuck through 10 years ago. It was like, I got the, anyway, it was a great product. I thought it was a great vision. We got shut down. And so, you guys, so I took a year off. Luckily I had the cash flow of my previous business that took care of our family. And so I didn't have to go straight back to work. And I had a CEO running it and he was continuing to grow. We had hit Inc. 5,000 now 3 years in a row. And so I was like, okay, what am I going to do? And I spent that year, I started worshiping a lot more. So spending more time like on my spirituality. I started exercising more, which I needed to do. And then I just spent time with the family and the kids.
Had you guys launched your social media and stuff yet?
Yeah. So that was 2016, 17. And so my kid's mom had, a blog and some things going on at that point. And then I ended up joining and running it for about 5 years
as a business.
Yeah. And so we took it, from like a single online digital product to multiple SKUs, multiple products, warehouses, and multiple like 3PLs and multiple websites and multiple handles. And we created a little mini empire.
And what was the product?
It was for women because that's who followed her. It was productivity, budgeting, and cooking.
Okay.
And so it's all under the brand, The Page Company.
Page Company.
Yep. And that's all. She now runs all of that. She's, doing all that in that world.
Was that messy when you guys went through your divorce of trying to figure out who ran what or what your role would be with it or how much equity you take?
Yeah, luckily it wasn't at all because I had kind of parted ways about 2 years earlier.
Oh, okay.
And so things were pretty clean and easy. So it wasn't too much of a problem.
So did that put extra stress on your relationship just being so public and having this channel? I mean, you guys have millions of followers across your different platforms.
That's true.
How did that, it's a question I really have for a lot of these families. I actually was talking to 2 families the other day. The dads, they're in my coaching program and both of them have amazing families. If they wanted to be a viral YouTube family, 100% it would work. The one girl has triplets. Both of them have just really beautiful families, fun, interesting people, and I was talking to both of them and they both were kind of like, man, I don't know if I want, and I was just like asking where they were at. And the one dude, his wife already has, 150,000 followers. So like there's some traction there. Yeah. And they both were kind of just like, man, I just don't know if I want to put that effort in. And so I maybe speak to that. Like how difficult was it to have your whole family, that public and to be able to have everything going on with your life just seen to the world?
And to talk about being public, it's ridiculous because even like People Magazine picked up on stuff.
Sure.
And it's like, that's ridiculous. We are not celebrities at all. And it was in their like celebrity relationships shit. And I'm like, well, this is the best were the comments because they were like, who the hell are these people? I'm like, exactly. It must have been a slow new day. This is ridiculous.
I made a tweet the other day that accidentally went viral. I was just being stupid. And some guy's like, who are you? I was like, I don't know either, Yeah,
it's like, well,
yeah, I'm a nobody.
That was so funny. All right, so here's some tips because I think it's becoming more and more common where you've got a husband and a wife and they want to do this thing together. And by all means, can be extremely profitable and the lifestyle can be amazing, right? The perks of doing the influencer thing are pretty fantastic. But now that we've been learning about divine masculine, divine feminine, and polarity in your relationship, I fear that a lot of people can fall into a trap. And especially of losing some of that true divine masculine when, now look, we want to support our spouses in their dreams and hopes 100%. I was definitely the biggest fan and biggest supporter of anything and everything, going about that. But I think there's this very careful dynamic and understanding who you are and sticking totally true to who you are and what you can offer to this world is really, it's going to be very important if you're thinking about working together as a couple. I would suggest that if the husband is not the core brand, that you create something on your own and let your spouse create something on her own. And you guys just continue to build. But I prefer, and I think it's best to maybe not build totally intertwined. And
do you feel like in your particular situation, just because she already had the following, so you kind of became the Instagram husband, and then because of that, it screwed up the polarity of basically your relationship?
I'm not going to go there at this point, but it feels like there's definitely a dynamic that when you guys are working together, someone has to take a lead and others. And so I think it's healthier in relationships when there's a very clear division of responsibilities and roles, and making sure that if you have a passion and a drive and you want to do something that you're passionate about, go do that thing. And you're going to support your spouse and she's going to support you. If you don't have passion in that thing and you're just doing it because it's easy and it's convenient, I think you're going to lose part of your drive. And as part of the masculine is having that drive and having that passion behind what you're doing. And that's something where I now, so let's say about 2 years ago, I created influence.vc. And I did it out of, my little Venn diagram. I looked at what are my assets, what are my resources, where are my skills, what's my expertise, who do I want to spend time with, and where can I have an impact on the world? And I feel like God's told me that I need to help impact people with self-reliance and abundance at like its core. So bring people to Christ is, the main, and then abundance and self-reliance through entrepreneurship and investing. That's like where I feel like part of my mission is on this earth. In order to do that, influence.vc was one of those ways I could do it. So I'm able to teach people and invest into companies in this more of a syndicated format. So you and I were talking about don't invest in private companies. 100% agree. Don't do it. If you're not seeing hundreds of deals a year, there's no reason you should be investing in your buddy's startup company, because the likelihood of success is so infinitesimally small, you're going to hurt yourself and your finances. Now, if there's a venture capital firm, a fund, or a syndication, and you believe that they have an expertise in a certain area, that's a lot safer. Now, yes, you got to pay fees. That's how they survive. So it's usually a 2 and 20 model. What 2 means is it's a 2% administrative fee or management fee, multiplied over 10 years. So when you're dealing with a fund, that's typically is 20% of your investment is going to go pay for their management fees over that course of time. Through a syndicate, we run ours. It's more of like a 10, instead of 20%, it's half that. It's usually 10%. So normal funds, 2 and 20, we would be called like a 1 and 20 if you multiply it over those years. Anyway, to give you an idea. Syndication, the difference between a syndicate and a fund is going to gather your money and they're going to invest on your behalf and not talk to you about it.
Yeah,
they're just going to go do it.
Just whatever they decide to do, they're going to do.
You're just trusting that they're doing their best. A syndicate, what I do is I'll go get the deal I personally want to go invest in. And then I take it to my hundreds of investors and say, hey, if anybody wants to come along with me, I've already vetted, I've done the due diligence, I know these people, I know where they're going. I believe there's a chance of success. Now, obviously, all of them can fail, but I believe there's a chance I'm going to invest, and then others can come along with me in that process. So it's a professional organization, it's a legal entity. We go together, so pool all of our money, and then we're one entity on the cap table under influence.vc. That allows you to get access to deal flow that you maybe would have never had otherwise. And so you can find me at influence.vc, go sign up for the syndicate, totally for free. Don't have to pay anything.
So I want to get into that a little bit with the investing side. Yeah. I think it's really difficult for the average person to invest. I've just told people now, I say, listen,
just don't do it.
Take 20 to 30% of your income, put it in a separate account. Once you have 6 months of saving, keep doing that. But now put half of it into the stock market and just index funds, and then put the other half, once you have enough for a down payment, 20% down on a house, buy cash flowing real estate. That's it. Like that's my whole thing I tell people. Now you can take 10, 20%, put them into projects like yours. Sure. But once you kind of have some wealth, you can take some bigger risks and things like that.
For sure.
I think where people get in trouble is they hear their friends. So like, I'll give you an example. Like I was investing in some different projects, and I invested in a restaurant down in Las Vegas that did really well. And I had literally dozens of friends come to me and they're like, dude, why didn't you tell me about this? Why didn't I get in on this? And they're mad at you about it kind of. And so the next time I was investing in something, they all wanted to do it. And so we syndicated a deal, and, we all went on it together, like you said, because it was like, they didn't want anybody under, I think, 200,000 investing. Yeah. So, 50 here and 100 here, whatever, 50 more. And you invest together. But the only reason I ever did that one deal is because so many people kept coming to me, and I'm like, I don't know how to vet this shit. Like, I'm not good at it. And that's why I even say now, like, only give it to like a company. So I've got a couple different funds I've invested in, the Savory Fund and a couple other ones. And actually they all pay me. Yeah. I just got a check for $70,000 for one of my investments in the Savory Fund the other day. Yeah. I mean, it's amazing. Like, I also have a crypto fund that I'm in, a couple of them, but one of those is up 400% in the last year and a half. I mean, like the funds can work really well. The syndicates can work really well, but you want to find people that really have that track record. And I learned, I'm like, I am never giving my money to anybody that hasn't already done this multiple times. Yeah. Like I would never give my money to a first-time investor, a first-time, or even if they've only done it once or twice. Like there's something to be said with just experience and time, and you see enough things, you know what to look for, you meet enough people, you know what that that person. So I don't know, that's my own personal.
I would agree. Look, you have to be accredited first in the first place. So if you're not accredited, you can't even invest in anyway.
Isn't pretty much everyone accredited though? Like
not necessarily.
There's 22 million millionaires in the United States? 22 million. I saw the stat the other day. It's 1 out of 15 people in the United States.
Does that include their primary residence?
Probably, yeah. Okay, their net worth.
You can't be accredited.
I understand that with your primary. But think about that for a second. 22 million millionaires just in the United States. It's 1 out of every 15 people. I was like, if you don't think you can make it in America, I just need you to hear that stat. 1 out of 15 people is a millionaire. 22 million millionaires just in the United States alone. It's 37% of the millionaires of the world that are right here in the United States.
Jeez, that's awesome. I did not know that. That's good. Anyway. I think when you were talking about like percentage of investing, so definitely put money in real estate, definitely put money in the market, definitely put money in crypto, but you got to have your savings in order. You got to have that emergency fund in order, and get to the 6 months for sure. I like to have 12 months. Yeah, just sitting there, right? Right. But it's and you get to a place where you can live off of less than half of what you earn, because then you can be playing with all the rest. Like if you're worried about the payment of your car, you shouldn't buy that car.
I always tell people, if you can't pay cash, you can't afford the car.
There you go.
When it comes to a car and a vacation, a ring, jewelry, like if you can't pay cash, you can't afford it.
Exactly.
I haven't borrowed money for something besides a property in 12 years. Yeah. Like I just refuse. Like to me, it makes no sense.
But there's too many who are trying to live up to a certain level of standard or show. That's bullcrap. Like to be a true masculine man is to be honest with yourself, to be vulnerable, to be able to know that like, no, I'm not going to buy the Rolex because I don't have 25 grand cash to go buy it. There's no reason to have a Bentley when you haven't made your, payment to
Well, here's
your kids.
What I've discovered in life is, luxury items or trips or vacations, any of that stuff, it's only fun. It's only good if it is stress-free. Like, it's no fun to be on a vacation if you're trying to figure out how to afford it. It's no fun to look at your watch if it stresses you out because you shouldn't have bought the damn thing because you couldn't have afforded it, right? And so for me, the only reason to buy a Rolex is because the feeling that it gives you of the satisfaction to know that you earned that and you were able to afford that thing. Yeah. If you're looking at it thinking, I hope people think I've made it, you probably shouldn't have bought the damn thing.
Yeah, no, that's for sure the wrong way. And I think, look, when we live in our true authentic selves, we are happier individual beings. And I think what happens is when we try to live inauthentically, meaning we're trying to impress somebody else, we're trying to do something that maybe isn't our true principle or moral values. When we go against those pieces, people can feel it. They may not be able to put a word to it, but they're going to see right through you emotionally that you're not who you say you are. And the thing is, look, 20-something-year-old kid who's watching this and you're trying to figure it out and you're trying to do what Jimmy's done and like build your empire. Realize that it's also taken him years and years and years.
Dude, I'd never spent more than $250 on a pair of shoes till I was 37 years old.
That's awesome.
Like I have a bunch of shoes now because it's like, I like to just wear my t-shirts and shorts of my company, right? We are the they. And throw on a nice pair of shoes, they look great, right? Like the whole outfit comes together. But it's like, I didn't buy that till it was so dumb to not have a couple pairs, I got myself to that place. But you're exactly
but it's
right.
Important. I just, especially with social media, people they're enthralled by these private jets or by these Lambos or by these whatevers, and you think it's going to get you women. It doesn't. If you do,
it'll attract you all the wrong women. Yeah.
The wrong ones, right? And look, married for 17 years, find yourself a quality human who wants to be there. It doesn't matter what you have or not have. That's the type of person you want to find. Yeah. And so it's, whether you're dressing this way or wearing that watch or having this car, that doesn't truly matter because that's gone 2 seconds. You take with you when this life is over what you brought into this world, and it's nothing.
Yeah, I heard a really cool interview the other day with Mel Gibson. His house just burned down in California.
That clip.
Yeah, and he said, he said that. He said, I feel like this is God's way of just like helping me declutter everything. Like just get rid of all the excess noise and the things that don't matter anymore. And he's like, yeah, it's kind of sad I lost some things, but honestly, it's kind of like a restart. And I really like that. It was just the way that he approached that, because I think sometimes we have, we want to hoard all these things or these things. And there's something beautiful about just going, I'm just going to be at scratch.
Yeah.
I say it's a gift if you've never gone to rock bottom in your life. One of the things that happened to me, it was back in 2005. I hit my rock bottom, a while ago, but I realized it wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I wasn't afraid to go for it. And I think people ask me all the time, like, hey, where do you get the nerve to try all these things? Or I'm doing something the other day. I was talking to some buddies and I'm doing a few shifts with my program and my coaching group.
Yeah.
And they go, is it going to work? And I go, I don't know. But if not, that's okay too. I'll just go back to what I'm doing, And they're like, where do you get this where you're not afraid to just you have no fear of just trying something? And I said, I'm just not attached to it.
Yeah.
And I hit rock bottom and it wasn't that bad. If I lost everything, there's some freshness in that, right? And I don't want to. I worked hard to get to a spot where I'll never be in that position, hopefully again. But I think until you've been down those roads and you realize like, oh, there's something really beautiful about just not needing anything to be any more than it is.
I think simplifying your life, like you said, Mel Gibson mentioned, look, I have a home for sale right now. It's more than 18,000 square feet.
Wow. That's a big, well, you also have 8 kids.
It's ridiculous. We have 8 kids, but nobody needs 18,000
No, that's
square
a
feet.
lot.
And no offense if anyone does, but like I'm looking at this and we're selling it and I'm grateful for it. Like, look, it's a beautiful home. It's on 2.5 acres. It's got everything you could imagine, but it's unnecessary. It's unnecessary. And I'm actually grateful that we get to, get out of that. I'll be in a smaller home with my kids, having that simplified look. I just think it's going to be a blessing.
Well, let me ask you about this, because I've always thought this with houseboats. Yeah. So I always bought a houseboat that was big enough that I can sleep 30 people, not comfortably, but I can get 30, maybe 35 people on the houseboat. But you see the big bravadas and the yachts and all that. And it's like, I've been on those and everyone's just kind of doing their own thing. They're hanging out in their rooms. It's like disconnected. I like where you kind of have to be on top of each other a little bit. Like with a house that's 18,000 square feet, did you feel like that a little bit with your own family? Where it was like, there's just so much space, right? Even the house I just bought, I didn't want to go bigger than, it's 5,500 square feet. That's not that big. Perfect, it's the perfect size house. Because it's big enough, I can, whatever I need to be in there. But at the end of the day, I just didn't want this monstrosity that's really hard to maintain.
It is, yeah.
And you spend all your time trying to keep up with the damn thing.
Oh, for sure. I mean, the maintenance on the house we have right now is absolutely insane.
18,000 square feet.
The landscaping, the pool, the spa, like everything. It's insane the amount of, anyway, again, not to say that you can't do that. Just if you look at your life, I think you're going to be happier, you're going to be healthier if you're just able to stay simplified, figure out what the most important things are for your life. Right now, for me, my relationship with God, it's my children, it's my own health, it's, listening and tuning in. I'm wearing this thing. I don't know if you can see it. I made this little piece of jewelry at the beginning of the year. I went to the little retreat and it says, I've hammered it in myself. It says, tune in. You can read it both ways, in tune or tune in. It's the tagline of the Fatherhood movement, where I want myself and I want others to be able to tune in, one, to the man upstairs, to God, tune into ourselves, our own bodies, our own feelings, making sure we're tuning into our spouses, our partners, our children. And I think as we tune in, that's going to guide us to the direction where we need to go. If we're truly listening, God's talking to us 24/7. He wants to talk to us all the time. If you think about it, look, I'm a dad of 8. I want to teach my kids all the time. I want to make sure they know, how do you do this? How do you do that? How do you fix that? I want them to go out into the world prepared. What do you think God's doing? He's trying to talk to us, and we're living our lives so filled with loud music or talks, or we're distracted, or we're scrolling, or money, or passion, whatever it is. Like, look, God wants to talk to you. I spend most of my time in my car silent. If I got my kids in the car, we got music on, we're partying. But like, I'm either silent or I got audiobooks on. And that's just me. The silence is where I can feel in my heart and my mind what I believe to be a revelation, inspiration. And God can give me direction. And if I listen to that direction, I feel as though I get more inspiration. When I deny that thing because it's too hard or it's going to suck or whatever it is, right? Then I get less of that inspiration. And it's like this daily battle. And I feel like, look, I'm a believer in God, which means I'm a believer in the adversary. I'm a believer in Satan. And so if there is somebody who's pulling us away, trying everything in his power to pull us away from our true potential of becoming who we really need to become on this planet, then it's our job to fight. And we have to be warriors. And so looking at our ability to be warriors, one of the reasons I love to exercise, weight train specifically, and I like to do that through CrossFit. That's just the way that I found it to be, for me. I think that lifting gives you confidence. It gives you strength. And look, if you're struggling with weight or you're struggling to exercise, that will impact all of the rest of your life.
I don't see how a grown man doesn't get to the gym 3 to 5 times a week. Like, I've been doing that since I was 14 years old. I don't miss.
That's amazing.
Yeah, like, you have to get to the gym and work out. It's much more important than running. It's more important than anything. Like, weight training as a man, it's a must. It's one of the 10 things that I tell the guys, again, like, you have to do this.
I agree. It's hard because I have empathy for those who are like injured. They have something on their back, or and I can't compare to others who are listening just yet, but I know I had back problems before I started CrossFit, and everybody told me, oh, you're only going to hurt it more. CrossFit's horrible. You're going to get injured. Within 3 months of me busting my butt, no more back issues.
What happens to a car if you don't move it? What happens to a plane if you don't move it? What happens to water if it doesn't move? Yeah. All these things, we know this, right? Things are supposed to be in motion.
We got to get moving. So they're basic principles. And if you look at the boulders in your life, I talk about boulders because you've got, you've heard of the glass jar theory where you have boulders, then stones and pebbles, and then sand and water. You put what's most important in your life first. And this is the plan with intention, right? We're beginning of the year right now. We have the ability to plan out exactly what we want this year to look like. Now, will you have bumps and bruises and crashes along the way? 100%. That's God's gift to us to learn and to grow. But you can plan out with intention what those most important pieces are. My date nights with my kids, those are core boulders. I have to have that one-on-one time. My exercise, my study. I love to study, not just self-improvement, but study the scriptures. To me, I want God speaking to me through his words, and I find so much power in being able to have, to be a better warrior because I'm studying, because I'm praying with intention, with sincerity, with true vulnerability. When I show up at work because I have that intention, I have those goals of what I want to build and do and help and impact. Like, these boulders are such key pieces, taking care of yourself, your family, being the protector, provider. Write them all out, set it up, and then plug it in every single week of the year. I would tell people, because coaching program, right? So you got this men's program. We'll find a way to make sure our coaching programs can help each other out.
Of course.
I want these guys to look.
By the way, like, it's such a beautiful thing to look at and go, okay, can I learn from a guy that's been all over the world, 43 years old, never been married, has all these different experiences? Of course. Can I learn from the guy that's had 8 kids? It's like, it's a whole different set of skills, right? It's like been married, divorced, going through all these different things, right? All those things, it's so beautiful. And that's why it's, one of my favorite things in my program is I just bring in people smarter than me all the time.
Totally.
I'm doing a relationship conference here in like a month, and I've got some of the top relationship experts on the planet coming in. Guess who's not going to get up on the stage and talk about relationships?
I love it.
I mean, it's just, you'd be smart enough to know what you do and don't know.
For sure. Yeah, I'm never going to profess that I'm the expert at fatherhood, right? But bringing in all the different experts who are out there, for sure. Can I lend a hand having 8 kids?
Of course.
Of course, I can share my experiences. But I think that's the goal of gathering people like you've done, is being able to share your experiences to the best of your ability, and then bring in some of these people who've been doing the study and the research for 10, 20 years. I think that's fantastic. So yes, I mean, the fatherhood movement will hopefully take people who have been working on themselves, because you've been coaching them. They're getting healthier. They're getting wealthier. They're becoming wiser. And there's probably these levels of how they can progress. Can they now begin to focus a lot on this intentional fatherhood element? I hope so. And you'll find value not just in the workplace, but also in the home. And your spouse will love it. Your kids will love it. You'll see the greatest investment, I believe, in our whole lives, working on yourself and your kids.
Yeah.
And of course, spouse. I'll make sure to put that in there. We're currently not in that.
Yeah. I was going to ask you, how is, I want to go there for a second. I mean, I can't imagine jumping back into the dating game with 8 kids dating, years, right? Dude. I mean, thankfully you've got a lot of things going for you. I don't think dating is that difficult when you are a man of status. That's just my whole belief. Like that's really what it boils down to. So in your own case, are you out dating already? Is it fun to this idea of dating again? Are you a little scared about it? Like, where are you at with dating? I just think it's a fascinating
I'm gonna
thing.
Start blushing here.
Your first date, you're like, do you have kids? You're like, yeah, I've got 8.
Yeah, 8. I would pull out my phone. I'm like, you see these pictures? 8. No, that's the best. All right, so here's the deal. I haven't talked about this on any podcast before. So this is the first, right?
Appreciate the exclusive.
It's been 40. Yeah, this is the exclusive, right? Right here is happening on the Jimmy Rex Show. It's been 4 months since the divorce was finalized. So, yes, I started dating. I wore my ring up until the final day. That's just what I felt was of value to me, to live that way. So yes, I'm dating. I'm not on any dating apps. Now, don't get me wrong. I probably will at some point. And I know I'm actually looking at investing in a new dating app.
Oh, nice. What makes it different than the others?
Well, it's the creators of Mutual. So I know that's like the
it's got a Mormon spin
version,
on it, yeah.
But they've created a Christian-based so obviously it's a much broader network, but they have the skills, the UI, the UX, that they've crushed it with this current smaller market, and they're bringing it to the world, and their traction is skyrocketing. And so I'm looking at what they're competing against and like, okay, these guys actually have the ability to really take over.
Sure.
Because some of the old dating apps they're older, they're antiquated, they haven't kept up with maybe the UI UX design of an app.
I meet people all the time that say they met their spouse on Mutual. I think I don't use it. I don't use any of the apps either, but I think it works really well. It seems to.
So Arc, it's just like Noah's Ark.
Oh, sure.
Because it's Christian based, right? I know.
Are you investing in it?
Yeah.
Let's chat. I want to chat after.
It's going to be,
I'll invest in it.
I think it's amazing. So the syndicate's coming together. We'll put it on.
I'm dead serious. Let's chat.
Okay. We will. We'll make sure that conversation happens. Anyway, I'm looking at this deal. I love that. So I haven't done the apps yet, but that's where I'd be going, right?
Be nice to have all that back end data.
That's right, dude.
Is that why you're investing?
Okay. So yeah, well,
I'm just kidding.
It does help. You know, there's something called ninja mode in some of these apps.
Oh, really?
Where you can do, especially if you have any kind of a following or something, where you can have an account, but no one can see you.
You just see everyone else?
And you can see everyone else. And then only if you swipe on that person do they see you. And so that helps because that way you're not just like out there. Anyway,
I've got a buddy. Who is it? It's one of my friends. He's pretty famous. Who the hell is it? Anyway, he got reported. He was on Hinge, and they reported him for impersonating himself.
Somebody's like, that is
I can't
not,
remember who it is right now. I'll remember who it is later. But
my gosh,
yeah, it's pretty funny. So he literally got his
mode.
He got his account shut down because he was impersonating a celebrity, but it was him.
All right, here's the deal. Look, in today's day, being 41 in the new single scene, if you have a job, any job that can support yourself, you're already in the top 10%.
Sure.
If you take care of your body, now you're in the top 5%. If you, like, this is what I'm hearing, right?
Yeah, you're not wrong.
If you like are true to your values, like you're authentic and vulnerable, now you're in the top 1%.
Can I tell you, it's a very underrated thing for men in the dating scene. It's a wise man once told me, he said, the most attractive state a man can be in is unapologetically himself. So if you're going to be the Mormon guy or like the church guy, own it. Yeah. Like, don't be the church guy that then tries to go up her shirt, right? Because you're going to lose your credibility. Totally. If you're going to be the asshole, own it, and you will be attractive. Like, you'll be attracted to the girls that like that because there's just something about somebody owning who they are 100%. That is super attractive to it's the very masculine
That's
trait.
Life lesson. I mean, quote that.
Yes.
Because life lesson, be authentic. Now, figure out who you are.
Yeah, that's the other part.
To be authentic. Yeah. Because if you're just playing off what your buddies do, that's not you. So that takes some inward deep dive. Mm-hmm. Who are you? Who do you want to be? Who do you want to go be around the people you want to emulate.
Well, Dakota, my producer right here, he told the beautiful, I'm writing a book right now. I'm basically taking 15 of my members' stories and we're putting into a volume. Oh, I love it. His story is so good. We have it in there. And one of the life-changing quotes one of our other members said to him is he said to that member one night, he said, it's in the book, he said, I hope I'm okay reading your story because I'm basically editing the book. Yeah. But he says, he said to him, he said, I want to be you when I grow up. And he just looked right at him and he said, Dakota, you are grown up. And what was the exact way he said it?
He said, Dakota, you are grown up. Be your own man. There's power in that.
Yeah, be your own man. There's power in that. It's beautiful. That. And then it changed his life, you know. He started really realizing like, oh, I get to just be me. Because true, is you're all, at best you're going to be Kirkland brand of somebody else, you know, a secondhand brand of somebody else.
100%. Now look, you can definitely emulate someone. There's nothing wrong with that. Find people that you want to become and go be with them. Go hang out with them. If you can't in person, go be a part of their membership course or learn from them, follow them, because
you can collapse time. You can take all their lessons and take what took them 10 years.
Ago, we couldn't do that.
No.
Oh my gosh.
Burning out the same audio CDs in my car. I had like 6 of them.
And I remember I had mentors early in my career, and I would be calling them up and feeling horrible because I'm not paying them. They
didn't
were
much
just
to
doing
offer.
No, I had nothing I could give them other than I can work for free, right? And which, by the way, if you're looking for a mentor, go work for free for them.
He did 3 months.
No way.
I swear to God,
dude. You did it.
Now I hired him after 2 weeks because I'm like, I want this guy around. Absolutely. But he offered 3 months. He actually said to me, his exact words to me were, I've saved enough money. I can work for you for free for 3 months, at the end of which you'll either have to hire me because I'll need a job or I'll have to go find somewhere else to be.
I love
That's
that.
what he did though, yeah.
But like people are they're always trying to vie for your time, right? Can you go to lunch? Can you it's like, look, no, I'm so sorry. I can't. I've got so much going on in my life. And my priorities are such, I can't just, I want to help you. So listen to a podcast, join the membership program, right? Follow me on socials. But every time I meet somebody, you go speak at an event, you get a line of 50 people. They all want to meet with you and go to lunch. And it just isn't going to happen. Right. And so, and it's hard because I've been there. We were in those shoes 20 years ago, and we looked up to people and we're like, how do we get in their schedule or calendar? How do we get to know them? Today, you can shortcut that by all the things online. Yeah. Be a part of their programs, listen to their content, follow what they say, and put it to practice. And then if you can offer something to them,
that's what I always said. I said, it's my responsibility to figure out what they need and provide it without even going to them. Like, enough of my life is online, enough of what I do, what I am all about. If you want to help me in some way, it's pretty easy to figure out some ways to do it, right? Yes. And it's like, once you're willing to do that, because people always like, Jimmy, how did you know so-and-so? How did you meet so-and-so? How do you network with everybody? It's like, I find ways to create value in their life. They want to be friends with me because of the value I've created for them.
Yeah.
That's the whole key.
Isn't that like a principle of life? The more value you create.
It's shocking how few people get it though.
That's true.
Like, people can't help themselves. They just want to take something. They want to benefit themselves. You know, they have this scarcity mindset. But well, that's exciting for you, bro, to be back in the dating scene.
Yeah. The short story is, yes, I'm back in, and it's been, I'll be honest, pretty amazing. I think there are so many quality women out there. I don't know if there are so many quality men.
No, there are. No, I'll actually correct that. Okay, like, there are so many good men. Okay. Yes.
I'm hearing the horror stories from the other side. And so
everybody wants to tell the horror. Hell, every relationship I've ever been in, I could tell you the horror story from my angle if I wanted to. But guess what? I can also tell you why I sucked. Yeah. But guess what? We're all awesome people still. Like, there's so many good men. There's so many good women. There really are. Like, if you've been out on 20 dates and they all suck, like, you're the common denominator, you know?
No, the dates have been amazing. The women are incredible. You know, I'm putting myself out there as absolutely, like, I'm the religious guy, right? That's me. Me and Jesus, we're tight. I'm going to the temple every week. Like, and so I've definitely
You ever met some chicks at the temple?
I actually have.
Yeah, it's a good place to find them.
In the ceiling room, which was wild. We just went on a date.
And?
It was good. It was great. Like, we're moving. This is going to be live. So.
I'm selling you out, bro.
But here's the deal. It's like, again, own your own stuff. Like, be who you are, become who you want to be. But just, I think that authenticity is going to be huge. So I know we're running out of time. Dating world, all right, I'm in it. I'm in no rush. I'm just, getting to know, rediscovering myself in this process. Because, with 17 years with somebody, there are things that you do together. You're enmeshed a lot. So now I've rediscovering myself, healing my own, self, doing these new healing modalities. Even started EMDR, which has been amazing.
Sure. Totally
down with that. Therapist, coaching, consulting, all that kind of stuff. that's for my own like internal well-being. And we've got influence.vc, which has been so much fun, playing around in the things that I love doing and have experience doing, and luckily have had success doing in the past. So that's the investing arm. Fatherhood movement launching, hopefully within the next couple of weeks. So you've got father-son retreats. You got daddy-daughter retreats.
Awesome. Very, very much needed, both of them.
I think you got it. You got to do it. Yeah. We'll put together some fatherhood-specific retreats where it's just the men, and we'll just talk about that kind of angle. We've got the book coming. We've got a men's and a women's program that's here. I mean, it's all happening.
You're going for it. No, and that's what you know what, though? It's cool because part of making something work is just taking action. And by the way, you're going to figure out what it's supposed to be by doing it.
For sure.
Right? It'll all figure itself out and end up where it's, well, yeah, like I dabbled in a couple different things that I thought, you know what, like people just said, we need this too. And I tried a few things and some of it stuck and some of it I was like very quickly realized I wasn't the person that should be doing it. But you really find your voice in taking action. So it's exciting, man.
We could keep talking for hours and hours. There's so much we can go over, but this has been fun. I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, no. So if people want to find out more about what you're doing, if they want to talk to you about investing or some of the syndicates you're working on, where's the best place to have them reach out?
Yeah, so the place where all of my links are is just bubbapage.com. That's going to have all of the links. If you specifically want to join the syndicate so you can see all the deal flow, it's influence.vc. Happy to connect with you on LinkedIn, on Instagram. That's kind of my two primary go-to social platforms. But bubbapage.com will have all of it.
Awesome.
So you can find me there.
Appreciate you, man. We'll have to go on a double date soon.
That's right, dude. Let's go.
Love it.
Thanks.